Yeah.
No, it's not working. I don't know.
That's what you were going to say. Try one more time.
صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة يا باب النجاة الأمة يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فلنفوز فوزا عظيما. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Before we start Musibah, inshallah, I'll give one advice, one of the Mujtahid in Najaf he gave me. Because I was leaving Najaf and going to America. So he said, maybe you're sad, you're going back there and you don't have the shrines of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam to go to. So he told me that the famous riwayat that we know when we go under the dome of Abu Abdullah Imam Hussein alayhi salam and we make dua, that our dua is accepted under the dome of Imam Hussein. But he said, you will be in America, there's no dome of Imam Hussein for you there. But we also have another riwayat that says that when the majlis of Imam Hussein is being recited, the musibah of Imam Hussein, then it is as if the dome of Imam Hussein comes over that place. So whenever you have a problem, whenever you have a need, he said, recite the tragedy of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and then make dua. It will be like you are under the dome of Imam Hussein, even if you are in your own house. And tonight we remember Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. It's a very difficult night, the night of Ashura. Imam Hussein alayhi salam laying on the ground in Karbala. The earth had trembled. The Farat had broken the banks. From the camp of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, the crying arose from all sides. Wa wayla wa musibata. Yazid's army had murdered our Imam, his sons, his brothers, his companions, his nephews. No one was spared. Amongst the male adults, only one was left, was our fourth Imam, Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. He was laying unconscious in the tent with his young son, Imam Bakr alayhi salam, by his side. It said that Mecca was a security for the believers, but they were forced to leave that place. They had to leave Mecca. The Prophet's house was a safe haven for the believers, but before they also burned it with Fatima, Hassan, Hussein, and Zainab inside. Now they have come to burn the tents again with Sayyidah Zainab inside. The tents were burning while Zainab rushed to Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. She asked him, should we stay in the tents and be burned alive, or should we go outside and be taken captives and prisoners? This is the state of Ahlul Bayt on this night. We would think that they would stop now after killing the grandson of Rasulullah, but they didn't. They set fire to the tents. Humayd ibn Muslim described how he saw a little girl running with her dress on fire. Ya Allah. Her ears were bleeding due to the looting of the family of the Prophet. They came and they ripped the earrings out of this young girl. She started running away from this scene. He said, I ran after her, I took her by her hand, I put the fire out on her dress, I wiped the blood from her ears. She looked at me, she said, you look like you are a kind person. Are you a Muslim? I told her that I was. She thought a while and she said, can you please show me the direction of Najaf al-Ashraf? I asked, why do you want to go to Najaf at this time and in this state? She said, I want to go and complain to my grandfather Ali ibn Abi Talib about how they killed my father. Realizing that it was Imam Hussein's daughter, I took her back to her Aunt Zainab. Umar ibn Sa'ad asked Hur's widow to take some food and water to the ladies and the children. When she neared to where they were resting, Sayyidah Zainab recognized her. She stood up. She went towards Hur's widow, offered condolences for the death of Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. This gesture on the part of Sayyidah Zainab, who suffered so much, lost so many, carrying so much grief in her heart, is a lesson in akhlaq that we should never be allowed to forget. Sayyidah Zainab took the jug of water. She went to Ruqayya, who had fallen asleep. Gently she rubbed the girl's hair. Ruqayya opened her eyes. Sayyidah Zainab said, here is some water, Ruqayya. Please just drink a little bit. You have been thirsty for so long. On hearing the word water, Ruqayya cried out, has my uncle Abbas returned? When she was told that Hur's widow brought the water, she got up, she went to Hur's widow, she thanked her. Then she asked Sayyidah Zainab, have all of you had water? Sayyidah Zainab shook her head. Ruqayya said, then why do you ask me to drink water? Sayyidah Zainab said, my dear, you are the youngest from amongst us. Ruqayya said, no, Ali Asghar is the youngest. Ruqayya took the jug of water and she ran towards where Ali Asghar was buried. Abdullah Radi, she cried out, Ya Asghar, Ya Asghar. This is how the homeless spend their night in Karbala. This was Laylatul Wahsha, Shami Ghariban. They had lost everything. Their men had died, their children had been killed. In this desert, our fourth Imam, the women and the children are all huddled together. Only a few hours ago, before stood in their camp Abbas, Qasim, Ali Akbar. They had all taken turns to guard the camp of Ahlul Bayt. Now Sayyidah Zainab and Kulthum, they lay awake to protect and guard Imam Zain al-Abidin and the children. Sayyidah Zainab guards the tents with a broken spear. Ya Allah. Suddenly Sayyidah Zainab notices that Ruqayya had disappeared. She's alarmed. She looks around, but Imam Hussein's daughter is nowhere to be found. Sayyidah Zainab walks out into the battlefield. She comes to where Abbas is lying on the ground. Ya Abbas, my dear brother, have you seen Ruqayya? There is silence in the battlefield. Ruqayya searches for her father's body. She just wants to lay her head on her father's chest as she did when he was alive. How can Ruqayya find the body of her father when all of the bodies are beheaded? She noticed a sweet smell coming from one of the bodies, a smell that must be the smell of Jannah. She saw a nur coming out from the place where his head was cut. Some say that she heard a voice coming from that direction saying, "Oh daughter, come to me." She makes her way to where Imam Hussein's body is lying on the ground. There she hugs the chest of her father, Abu Abdullah, trying to find some peace, trying to find some comfort in all of these hardships. Sayyidah Zainab keeps searching for Ruqayya. Finally she finds her, deep in sleep on the headless body of her father, Abu Abdullah. Now dawn breaks in the land of Karbala. What was the battlefield yesterday is just now a stretch of desert covered with the bodies of the shuhada. In the corner where had stood the Imam Hussein's camp, the mourning widows and the orphans have completed their morning prayer. Imam Zain al-Abidin is in sajda, glorifying Allah. Umar ibn Sa'ad walks over with a few soldiers. He orders the women and the children to be tied with ropes. This is family of Rasulullah. They had no mercy, said take them as captives. The women and the children start wailing and crying. Our fourth Imam tries to console them. He himself, Imam Sajjad, is put under heavy chains. Yazid's soldiers spend the day burying their dead, but the bodies of the grandson of Rasulullah and the other shuhada are left. No one cared for them. Imam Zain al-Abidin pleads with them, begs them, just let us bury our dead. No one listens. The soldiers had gathered all of the bodies, but they noticed that one body was missing, the body of a small infant child. They couldn't find the body of Abdullah Radi, Ali Asghar. Where had he gone? They realized that Imam Hussein must have buried him in a shallow grave somewhere around the camp. Ya Allah, they started stabbing the ground with the spears in order to find the body of the baby they killed. They stabbed the land of Karbala and the spear pierced the chest of Ali Asghar. They pulled out the small body from the ground and they threw him to the side with the other headless bodies. Ali Asghar shared the pain of his older brother Ali Akbar. Now they were both laying on the plains of Karbala, pierced by the spears of the enemy's soldiers. The army of Yazid went on to loot the tents. They were stealing from the women. They were taking everything they had. Now a man came to the body of Abu Abdullah, Imam Hussein. He notices a ring on the Imam's hand. He tries to remove it, but he can't take it off. So this man proceeds to take out a knife. Allahu Akbar. He cut off the finger of the grandson of Rasulullah. Another night in Karbala, followed by another dawn. The prisoners remain tied. Our Imam suffers the discomfort of the chains. His wrists and his ankles are bruised. On the morning of the 12th of Muharram, the enemy brings unsaddled camels, which the women and the children are made to ride. A huge procession is made. At the head of the procession is Umar ibn Sa'ad, followed by his army. They are carrying the lances and the spears. On them are mounted the heads of the shuhada, the head of Abu Abdullah, grandson of Rasulullah. In their midst is our fourth Imam. He is chained, he is shackled. Then the camels carrying the women and the children as prisoners. Shimr and the rest of the army come from behind. Their journey to Kufa begins. We look at the travelers, some of them who had set out on that first journey from Mecca to Medina can be seen, but the rest of them cannot. They can only be seen if we look around. They are lying slain on the ground of Karbala. Who is the hero in this story on the journey to Sham? We see the hero handcuffed, chained, exhausted, with the long illness and great suffering, our fourth Imam, Imam Zain al-Abidin. We see the lady, her face full of pain. Yal al-Masa'ib. And she is reflecting the courage and the strength that she has to give in these moments. She knows that for the sake of Ruqayya, the sake of Sakina and the other ladies, she cannot give in to her grief and her sorrows. It's Sayyida Zainab, Ya al-Masa'ib. Let's take a look at Sayyida Zainab, what she had to witness throughout her life. We go back to a time and recall how when she was a young girl, she was grieving over the loss of her grandfather, Rasulullah. She had to witness the people surrounding her house, the same house that was beloved and visited by Rasulullah. How they surrounded the house with fire, how they slapped her mother Zahra. How Sayyida Zainab had been waiting for the arrival of her new baby brother Muhsin. Then she had to witness the tyrant smashing the door, causing her to miscarry the baby. A few years later, she saw her father's head being cut by the sword while he is in sujood. She had to endure the loss of her father, Amir al-Mu'mineen. She had to live through all of these difficulties. But Zainab, Ya Zainab, how could you bear to see your brother's head on top of a spear in Karbala? Umar ibn Sa'ad, his cruelty isn't exhausted at this point. He decides to lead the procession past where all of the shuhada lying on the ground. As the camel carrying Sayyidah Zainab goes past the body of Imam Hussein, she can't take it anymore. She turned her face toward Medina. She cried out, Ya Muhammad! The angels in the heavens send their blessings upon you. Look, here lies your beloved Hussein. Hussein minni wa anna min Hussein, Rasulullah says. She said, he is lying on the ground, humiliated and disgraced. He is covered in the blood. He is cut into pieces. Here are your daughters being taken captive by Yazid. Imam Zain al-Abidin walks over to Sayyidah Zainab. Dear aunt, have patience. Your sacrifices for Islam have only just begun. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. يا حسين اللهم عجل وليك الفرج. يا حسين
الإخوة والأخوات، السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين، والبراءة من أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين. اللهم أنت